Hey YouTube, it's Yolanda at DryerBuzz, and use the hashtag DryerBuzz. And another snow day here, so we're gonna give you part two. Well, actually, the part one was on Facebook. And I've been trying to get over here to YouTube. So thanks and shout out to the subscribers. Thanks and shout out to those of you that are gonna click through from the other platforms and come over and join me. Got the t-shirts in, so you see a little bit something different there with This Ain't That Book Club, and we're trying to migrate This Ain't That Book Club to YouTube. So we'll be doing our live selection. Hopefully, we'll be in stores next week to make that selection. We got a snow day. We had 2 snow days here. We had a little bit of snow and ice storm going on here in Atlanta, so we had to resort to our bookshelf once again. The books that we've already selected this year, one, two, three, four, here in January. Of course, 2 of them were gifts for Christmas, and then of course 2 of them were selections that we made. And we've already talked pretty much about these three right here, right? And then of course, this is my book over here. And then of course, what I really want to get into some Jennifer Lewis. I haven't had a chance. I think I did a small excerpt of hers, but I really want to talk a little bit more about her table of contents. I want to talk about her chapters, her lessons that she gives. And of course, we're reading the Hollywood Commandments because, when you've done your vision board, now you want to figure out how to implement it. The difference with being over here on YouTube is getting reacquainted with our subscribers. Luckily, we've got a number of subscribers here that we've had over the years, and I always find it funny when I get those alerts of you guys that are watching videos. Like somebody is like really like right now watching the memorial that we did several years ago for Yolanda King, and they're going through the emotions like right now, like really right now. So, and I love our YouTube channel because we had a chance to do some really groundbreaking things very early on at the onset of YouTube. And of course, we've had a number of platforms. Platforms come and go, especially live streaming. Some of them are finding their way to stick around. Periscope we've had for what, about 3-4 years now? 3 years or 4 years. Started out with Meerkat. They came and went. Blab came and went. Facebook Live is still there, although Facebook has more restrictions than anything. So a lot of people are still kind of bouncing around. Even though I love Facebook, and I'm thinking about hitting this live button here on Facebook while they won't have a visual. I think I might just do a quick live on Facebook just as audio. Let me do that, because one thing I love is having the live interaction until we get to that point on and get you guys familiar with. I'm just gonna hit this live audio button because I know Facebook is not gonna stay long with us. It seemed like it grabbed some of my resources when I did that. Let me know if you guys, is that still slow? Let me see. You have to kind of make sure it's still moving fast. Okay. For those of you that might click in on Facebook, we're just doing audio on Facebook till it crashes while I create this YouTube. So what I want to do is really kind of explore a little bit more of, hey, Brandon's over there on the Facebook audio. I really want to do an excerpt of Jennifer Lewis's book, since we're still snowed in. For those of us that have cabin fever, hey Will, and so this is why I say we can't even leave Facebook, because I love saying hello. We got a viewer over here on YouTube as well, but hopefully we. And you know what? I guess we could talk about that, like how to bring your audience. And I was just talking with Tati, who was just live from a major social media technology conference, and I said I'm getting ready to do some YouTube, and immediately everybody started having the debate about YouTube and the changes at YouTube. People are saying, well, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. Most people have curated 1,000+ subscribers if they've been on YouTube for a number of times. It's really hard to, and I know this ain't that book club. We can talk about apps because this ain't that book club. So we can talk about apps. It's really hard to mass a following on YouTube if you're just starting out now or not, because it depends on the piece of content you drop on the platform. Like I'm trying to do something live. It depends how trending it is, or something blog breaking, groundbreaking, or if it's a true answer to something. You can mess, but it's so hard, I think, today to get subscribers than it was back in the day, because back in the day the habit was you wanted to be notified if somebody did something new. Today, people complain about notifications. I mean, one, because it takes up a lot of resources. At one point, having your notifications on killed your battery. And so there were a lot of things that happened in technology that kind of changed up the habits. So YouTube, when it came out, everybody would subscribe to your content. Everybody wanted to be notified if you did something. Today, because, and I think Facebook changed up a lot of that, and a couple other platforms, because they were resource hogs on your devices, that people don't want to have their notifications on. But you know what? If you don't have your notifications on, you're going to miss some good stuff. And I think a case in point was Hawaii. Okay, being notified of the fact that even though it was a false alarm or a mishap or whatever, you want to have your notifications on. If you got to be notified about a missile, okay, or a possibility of a missile, you want to have your notifications on. And then we had the whole mudslide situation and things of that nature, where you're depending on somebody had an actual emergency, and people are just now seeing those things. Yesterday's emergency post today, because of Facebook sometimes is basically a day late, and you guys are listening over there on Facebook, and it's gonna crash in any moment. So if you don't hurry up and get over here on our YouTube channel, and I think one thing I should have probably did was give you the YouTube link. But use the hashtag DryerBuzz. Find us over here on YouTube. 6 minutes into this video. This ain't that book club. Come on and talk about books, but you can see I have a lot on the screen, so we're going to talk about that. So this ain't that book club, so we can talk about apps, and I think it begs for me to talk about using these applications. A lot of times you see people doing multiple streams. They're on more platforms than one. Some people are particular, like I'm particular about using one, and I feel like if I'm not looking over here on Facebook, I'm neglecting them. But I'm particularly doing this on YouTube, and I'm keeping an eye on. I see Donald over there. Hey, Donald, I need to hook up with you because I definitely want to come back by the station and do some things with you guys as well. Making sure to keep myself non-exclusive. But when you're using these things, like I've had this audience over here on YouTube, and I know that I have to keep something going on over there and keep them entertained as well, because you never know when one of these platforms is going to change up. Like, YouTube was one of the first ones out the gate, but really, I mean, the first one really out the gate that really took on a television like appeal was Ustream, because Pal Talk, basically, even though it had video, and it was literally a virtual community, one of the first and best virtual communities out there. And I'll tell you, nobody has really duplicated Pal Talk, because Pal Talk was something you paid for. You can lurk around on Pal Talk on the free, but you literally, if you wanted to really interact and engage and build a community over there and monetize, I mean, you pay for it. There were people who paid for subscriptions to that particular app. I haven't seen anybody mass that kind of following where the majority of their users are converting to paid users. I haven't seen that. Yeah, Facebook is making billions of dollars. Okay, they're able to monetize, but yet they know that any given moment things could change. It could all change. Hey, see, Chandon, I'm actually over here on YouTube doing a little audio over here on Facebook before it crashes. So all of these different platforms, they know that things could change at the drop of a dime, and so does the content creator. Know that, and that's why everybody's trying to keep something going on. We're talking about book club, but this ain't that book club. So we talk about all these things. Like, say, for instance, I know the book club does very well on Facebook, but that's on a local level. And I want the book club to be on a national level, because what good is it for me to say to an artist, well, it's on the one hand, it's great that I can say to an artist that I could get you buzzing in Atlanta, but at the same time to be able to say that I can get you buzzing nationally and internationally, because in social media, one year everybody wants to be hyper local, and the next year everybody wants to be international, then people want to be regional, and it's hard to keep up. So you have to keep something going on everything, right? You have to continue to nurture these audiences, and you have to keep your audience mobile. It's like, what if I choose not to log on Facebook tomorrow? Am I going to say goodbye to all these people? No, I'm going to be like, hey, listen, just like I did yesterday. Listen, I did a video. I need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? Because I'm able to automate some things over there, monetize. I'm able to convert you a little bit better on that platform than I can on other platforms. But then I know that there are those that's not going to go anywhere because that's the only app they have on their phone or their favorite device. And that's the easiest app to update, right? And people are intimidated about the learning curve of going from one to the other. So you have to think about that. But I still love YouTube. Wow. And in the interesting way, I think the reason why I can do well on YouTube is because I can deliver my content whether I have somebody there now or not, because I come out of radio, and in radio you're used to that one-way conversation and then getting the feedback later, and it only comes if you read a message or you take a phone call. You're used to that, not having any dead air kind of mentality, of being able to just keep talking. I don't have to wait till somebody poses something to me. I can just let it flow. So for that, I know that I could do this live on YouTube, and then I could create the YouTube videos. Like, did I necessarily have to go live with this? I wanted to go live with this because I want to build that habit. I want to build that bridge of bringing people from where they are familiar, because when you go live, the habit of the audience, they know that, oh, well, if she's live or he's live, then I can immediately engage with them. That's the difference of it. So when you decide on your content, like say for instance, I could have just recorded a YouTube, but I want to give the opportunity for somebody to equally engage with me in this process of delivering this content. And that's why I decided I would do it live. But at the same time, when I go back and look at the finished product, I want to make sure that I didn't have any issues that normally come with live, such as slowing down the video, blurred video, pixelation, and those kinds of things. If something happened with the data or something, because we know we are in a data war. If something happened with the Wi-Fi, if something interrupted the connection, and so forth. So you have to think about those things too when you think about using the various platforms and the various apps. I could have gone live on Facebook and then just recorded it on YouTube. And this is where your evaluation comes in. This is where you begin to measure. When the live environment, you can immediately measure your reach, but you still have to come back and see what happens after that. Like I said, right before I went live on YouTube, I got a notification that somebody yet again is watching a video that I've had out there for 10 years. And I'm like, and here I am, I'm like watching this video and watching an engagement on this video. And I'm like, I cannot believe somebody's over there going through the emotions of somebody that we lost 10 years ago because they literally just found out. Right? They literally just found out. So I now have to engage with that person the way I engage with that live audience or that immediate audience that I had on there. So, and again, look at Facebook still holding on. I see Leonard just jumped in, and I'm just letting Facebook run his audio, guys, while I record this YouTube video. I'm actually live over here on YouTube if anybody wants to come on my YouTube channel and engage with me there to see how that works. I can't wait for the day that I get my audience to the habit of being live with me on YouTube and seeing those comments coming in over here as I can see people, the viewers on Facebook. I just think at this point we need to really keep a close eye on Facebook. One habit I noticed that's changed towards the end of 2017 and really being pushed here in 2018 is temporary content. So I'm wondering if all these different, with the exception of YouTube, I'm wondering if all these platforms or a couple of platforms that are pushing the story format, pushing the temporary content, the 24-hour content, if that has to do with of the fact that they have so many users and having to archive all of this content, that if you were to just put it out there and it lasts a day or so, then it's gone. But they still got to be masking it. But I mean, there's a difference between just storing it, and then there's a difference between just simply storing it and then having to recall it and let you engage with it. That's a difference. There's a big difference there. Hello there, Susanna came on as well. There's a difference in just storing it and nobody's engaging with it, but the fact that you still want something that's a day old, a week old, month old, a year old, hell, a decade old, as what's happening over here on YouTube because of the information the amount of information we have on YouTube. It's just imagine them having to have that information readily available for somebody trying to watch a video that we did 10 years ago. That's a difference between, let's say that I put some stuff up yesterday that's no longer there. It's no longer accessible by me. It's no longer accessible by you. But we know that if something happens, it's somewhere and they'll be able to recall it. I think somebody posted yesterday that Twitter is only that you can pretty much only grab about maybe 2,300 of your tweets. Well, we know that they are archiving tweets and they're going into the Library of Congress, and and people are able to go and access and pull all of that stuff up as well. So let me talk about it from this perspective of having all this content out there and how it plays into This Ain't That Book Club. One of the things I know for me is when I publish 27 Answers to Create Buzz, and somebody was like, well, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And I sat down and I started writing, and I'm like, wait a minute, why am I writing from scratch? Because I have this blog that's been out there. I think at the time I did the book, the blog had been out there about a decade. I'm like, why don't I just go and pull some of the articles and thinking about Whoopi Goldberg's book, thinking about Sex in the City when they went back and got some of her articles, and then seeing other top books out there that just basically was a compilation of previous writings. And I'm getting ready to do the same thing with this book that I'm doing now, 27 Answers to Begin Again. I was able to go and just pull articles that I'd already had out there. And did I have to take those articles down off the internet? No, I didn't, because just as much as there's an audience online, there are those that don't want to come online. There are those that don't. People ask me every day how to do something, and I tell them, well, go and search this or pull this up, and they're like, no, I really don't want to do that. I don't have time to do that. Can you just tell me how to do it? And then I realized, and I stopped telling them, no, I can't, right? And I start really hearing what they were saying is that they wanted that level of service, and many of them wanted to pay for it. Now, those that don't want to pay for it, they just ignore that. But there were those who said they wanted it at a convenience. They did not. Hey, Sylvia Webb, you guys are listening to me on audio while I do a YouTube. There were those that said they did not want to go and look it up online. They wanted it at a convenience, and guess what? They were willing to pay for it at a convenience. So then I said, well, why don't I pull it for you? What version? How do you want it? Do you want it to print it? You want it in a digital version? You want it on your phone or your device? At that time, we still weren't even on phones as we are now. Do you want it for a device? And everybody wanted it for a device, because remember, these were convenience customers, just like today. You got this convenience. Convenience is an ecosystem. It's an economy. Convenience is an economy, especially today, as it was once before. We are literally going back. Everything recycles. My aunt, who you guys got to enjoy on a thing the other day, says all the time, everything recycles. We are back to convenience. Somebody was talking about, remember the insurance man the other day. There's a post out there right now. People talking about the insurance man, and it's getting thousands of comments because everybody has that story. Hey, Curtis, Brooks, Ingrid, Dwayne, I hope Facebook doesn't cut off. I'm just doing an audio on Facebook while I'm actually live on YouTube. Go over to YouTube and do the hashtag DryerBuzz, and you'll see the live video there, because Facebook audio is going to crash. Hello, dear. How are you? I'm good. I'm just letting you guys chill out because Facebook audio is going to crash. And if you want to hear the rest of the story, you need to come over here on YouTube. Find my YouTube channel using hashtag DryerBuzz, and it'll give you the live video. We're doing a live video. Can you reach out to me? We'll do. Crystal Bodie Smith wants me to reach out to her. I'll try and remember. Hit me something in my inbox so I'll remember. So that whole convenience led to another level, which was a premium level, because even those, once I compiled it for them and gave it to them on a device, they were like, "Well, I don't even have time to be on my device. Can I get at another level?" And that's how I ended up with the print book. And that's how I ended up with the other stuff. It all comes back to that. We are back to that. And so you have to decide, how do you want to be involved in this? There's so many conversations. This ain't that book club. So we can have these conversations. We can talk about these apps and things like that. Yolanda Cheatham, thank you so much for checking in. Thanks. I'm so glad Facebook is still going and letting you guys check in. And that's the difference between, like, I really want to be over here on YouTube, but yet I still got these people on Facebook, and I'm trying to nurture their habit of coming to YouTube. So guys, come on over here to YouTube. And I hate I did not put my YouTube channel in there. Did I see another one? I hate I didn't put the YouTube channel in there, but I will. But come on over here. Somebody actually just came over here on YouTube. Because if you're on YouTube, please type a comment. I'm trying to see how the comments flow across the screen. I think they will. Can you say hello for me on YouTube? And that's another thing too, because even though people are clicking the YouTube link, they may not be. There we go. Curtis Brooks, thank you so much. I knew somebody would. Hey there, audio is much better here. Yes. Okay. So I see how to come. That's what I was trying to do. Because even once and we're talking about Curtis, we're talking about changing up the habit of your audience. Like, I'm trying to change the habit of my audience that's used to me on Facebook to get used to me on YouTube. But then you have to get them to sign up for YouTube so they can comment. Because a lot of times, depending on the platform they're on, if you click a YouTube link on Twitter or Facebook, Twitter or Facebook is going to try to keep you on Twitter or Facebook. So they're going to show you the YouTube, but then you may still not be able to engage unless you have a YouTube login or unless you are logged into YouTube. And don't you hate that? I know I hate that when I'm trying to support somebody or trying to watch something or read something, and I go to it and then I want to engage with it, and it says, "Oh, you got to log in," or if you don't have a login, you got to create an account. And one thing you guys better understand, in 2018, we started seeing it in 2017, and everybody's excited about this who have content out here, is paywalls are coming back. Paywalls are coming back. Everybody is trying desperately to monetize this thing. If you're coming, especially if you're getting back into doing any of this stuff on a full-time basis or a 50% basis, people want to get paid, want money at the end of the day. And I know for me, this was at one time a full-time thing for me. So that's why I'm like, look, come on over here to YouTube, because at the end of the day, I'm at the subscriber level, I'm at the viewer level, and I want to keep my views up. I don't want to fall below that. So I got to begin to nurture my subscriber list, and I've got to begin to nurture my views, which is why I'm on YouTube. And I want to get paid. I want this to pay my bills. I want my skills to pay my bills. And unfortunately, that's always been a big argument in our community. It really has been a big argument, a big debate in our community. But sometime around the time that Facebook came along, Facebook, Zuckerberg, he took all the money for himself. I mean, that's himself and his company. I mean, we know that to be true. That's what it was. The nature of the game was, and encouraged everybody to give everything for free. Even before that, and I don't want to put it all on Facebook. We can go back to the AOL days. We can go back to the migration of newspapers coming online, giving all of their content away for free, and losing all of their subscribers and by losing all the subscribers, I mean losing their billion-dollar industry. And they have since that time tried to find ways to build that audience back, paying audience back. And before newspapers came online, if you had a blog online, if you had any kind of content online, it was not free. It was not free. If you listened to somebody's podcast, you were a paid subscriber. That's why Cyrus Radio, what was the other radio station that came along? They took on that model and took it to a larger scale, right? Anything that you got offline during that time, you paid for it. If and that's how ebooks and all those things became popular. If you subscribe to a blog or a newsletter, if you were on somebody's email list, that newsletter or whatever content you got in your email, you paid for that. And that's why it was kind of an elite system. That's why it was really considered an elite system at that time, because you had to pay for it. It was not free. Walter L. Jordan, welcome. You guys are still listening in on Facebook before Facebook crashes on us. So come on over to YouTube, because once it crashes, I'm done. Uh, but I'll still be over here on YouTube. I mean, you pay for all that. And I'm just giving a little bit of tech history, because this ain't that book club. We talking about tech history. And look at the fact that print books are coming back. Look at the fact that bookstores are coming back in our community. But the bookstores are realizing they've got to do a little something. Even bookstores during that time, people were rolling up into them big box bookstores came in, and people would go to the bookstore, sit in the bookstore all day and read the book in the bookstore and never buy it. Nobody wanted a signed copy. Nobody wanted a print copy. They just literally come sit in the bookstore. The bookstore is like, wait a minute, you putting everybody out of business by being an upscale library. And then they realized, like, wait a minute, being this upscale library with this coffee shop, where people can walk and talk and read and eat, is not really making us the billions of dollars, because they went into serious debt trying to build those institutions. Next thing you know, they began to start closing in the community. And then there you were back at the library, and Lord knows you can't drink a cup of coffee in the library. I don't know why the library has not evolved yet. I just really don't know. You can't live stream in the library. You can't talk in the library. I don't know why. The library reminds me of the post office. Like, why is the post office, why is it that Americans do not have a USPS email? Why is my email not DryerBuzz at USPS email? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why the person that delivered mail is not the number one person to get your electronic mail. That is the biggest misstep that I will forever talk about in the universe, is that the post office did not capitalize off of email, electronic mail, which is essentially what it is. So same thing with the library. Why the library has not evolved enough? I mean, why are you still telling people to shut up when they come inside there? It boggles my mind. Why can't I get a cup of coffee in the freaking library? And so forth and so on. Why hasn't the librarian evolved? I mean, as popular as book clubs are, does the library even have a book club? Does the library even invite you to socialize on that level? No, right? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Facebook is still hanging on. Facebook is hanging on at 27 minutes. Wow, I probably need to hit that stop button. That's interesting. I'm gonna hit that stop button to see if I can save this. Hold on, guys. We'll come back. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening on Facebook. Don't forget to. There we go. Okay, I hit that stop button because I'm like, wait a minute. I might want to save that. Let me see if I can. Let me see if it gives me a save button. Hold on. Facebook went 27 minutes. So we're just gonna want to try and save that to my I'm going to try and save this Facebook down to my iPad, because that's a pretty good podcast. And that's the thing. That's why I love the audio. The audio on Facebook is amazing, but it only seems to be working for Android. I'm going to see if I have enough room on my iPad to save it. And let's see, it says saving. So if it saves, I always wanted to get to a stopping point in my Facebook audio, because, and this is the thing, it is in the most amazing place. It says saved. Okay, good. All right, so we have audio, y'all. That's record breaking. 27 minutes of audio on Facebook. And I wish they would really get that together, because I really want to do a podcast. What I love about the audio on Facebook is immediately you can save it down to your device if you have enough room. And then you can immediately repurpose it as a podcast. And so that's what I love, because you get it. And what I love about it is you can engage with the people that are on. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this. I'm going to go ahead, and I know going back in is probably going to going to crash even faster now because you never get a second time around on the audio. Look, and more I talk about it, maybe I should keep talking about it. Maybe it will. I'm just going to start that back and let them come back in and listen. But I was like, wait a minute. Let me hit that stop button because if you do get a chance to stop the audio, there's some real nice tool. There's a real nice tool at the end to save it, and then you can go back and repurpose it. But there are a number of options and apps out there. Again, we're talking about apps today on This Ain't That Book Club. There are a number of apps out there. If you do have content online, there are a number of apps that you can go back and download that content. I know a lot of people think that you can't save your content. Zakia, hey Zakia, just running some Facebook audio till it crashed. I had a good one going, so I saved it because I wanted to get to a saving point. But a lot of that, that's just a great tool, and so hopefully it will work a little bit better than it has. I know on the phone, I barely get a minute on my iPhone to do audio. It does work a little bit better on the iPad if I've not done anything else. A lot of times I hear people say they have to delete the app, reinstall it to get a good bit of audio on there. Shannon, it's coming back in. Shannon Hair Plug Ray is listening. Okay. All right. So, guys, we're actually over here on YouTube. I just decided to turn Facebook on, let you guys hear the audio. I'm actually over here on YouTube doing This Ain't That Book Club. And we were going to do an excerpt, but we decided to start talking about some apps because this ain't that book club. So, we want to talk about some apps and some things that we are considering and just talking about really what are some of the habits, what's going to be. And it's so funny because when we start these things we never know where we're going to go, but basically we're talking about what's going to be some of the habits of our readers, followers, subscribers, users as we go into 2018. You'll probably see people jumping around from platform to platform a little bit more. You're definitely going to see people encouraging you to really connect with them either as a subscriber, getting on their list. The email list is always your dominant base, because even though you can amass all these followers and subscribers on all these different platforms, you still want to get that email because, again, everything can change. Everybody knows everything can change, even though I think I'm getting alerts on Facebook now that I've had friends on Facebook for 7, 8, 9 years, 7 or 8 years. YouTube, been on YouTube 10 plus years. Periscope is now already at what's the key of 3, 4 years. What's another one? And so many others have come and gone. Blab was a great platform, come and went. I was just in the Facebook group for Anchor. And I was talking to somebody about Anchor. I'm like, how you guys liking it? And one guy was saying, there's still like an audience, he said he was still crafting the audience around like 30 and he used it for larger stuff. He uses something else. I was saying I'm still looking for something with a nice clean audio share. And even with Facebook audio crashing on Apple products, I still say that is still love it the best. Blog Talk Radio. Think about how many people have been on Blog Talk Radio for more than a decade. I still get alerts here and there of people listening to content that we put out, years ago on Blog Talk. And I'm always tempted to go back to Blog Talk. Probably every other month. I'm like, man, maybe I should renew my Blog Talk subscription. But one of the things I love about, let's talk about this. One of the things I loved about Blog Talk, it has a pro. I love when these apps have a pro version. I love when the app allows you to take it to the next level, investing in yourself, investing in your content, investing in your presence. That's the thing that worries me the most about Facebook. Even though, Facebook has the marketing tools and the advertising tools, the fact that I can barely separate myself. Tachi was on when she was doing her live stream, and we just quickly she threw out a couple of things. She's such a resource I think we're back. It's resetting. I had a call. Sorry. Hey, Nikki Blake. And Tachi is one to follow. She does Mediascope. Go and like her page on Mediascope. And she's the one that gives us a lot of the behind the scenes. She quickly dropped some science when I started seeing, when I said, well, I'm going to go to YouTube. And she, one of the things that she said was, that call took me off. I think I was like, wait. Okay. One of the things she talked about was the changes that YouTube recently had in the monetization, and luckily, like I said, she said you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 views, and that's one of the reasons why I want to continue to curate content over there, because I am at that level. Based on the amount of content that I have on YouTube and forever green content that I have on YouTube. There's some things that I put out, it might just be relative to the day or the week of this week or the week. But there's also content that I put out on YouTube that I know it's encyclopedia worthy, right? So you have to think about that as well. And like I said, one of the habits going forth this year is when you do create content, the sites, the apps now want you to think, is it permanent or is it temporary? Is it permanent or is it temporary? If it's permanent, then you really need to think about what platform you're going to put it on. Like I have a blog. So if it's really permanent, I might want to put it on my blog. But is my blog even permanent at this point? I might be better yet. Like I think yesterday I did a blog post on medium.com. And I don't know how long they're going to be around, but I like accessing that audience over there. If it's temporary, if it's something just, hey, here's what's happening today, then I'll put it in a story, cut it down to 6 or what is the story? 6 or 10 seconds, 10 seconds, I believe, on Instagram. It also goes to Facebook. Really the only platform out there, the number one, I guess I would say, platform out there where people have the habit and the expectancy that they must click through is Twitter. Twitter people, even though Twitter has expanded the content, amount of characters, there is still the habit on Twitter that they know they're going to be served a link, and in order to engage with that content, they must click the link, right? So if you have content that you're trying to drive traffic to a particular site, you need to spend that time or in resources and money on Twitter. You're not going to get that on YouTube. Not YouTube. You're not going to get that on Instagram unless people go to your profile. But that's a habit. You have to build that habit. Let me check and it does look like, let me see, I'm waving my hand in front of my YouTube to make sure that we are still getting the right amount of speed. So, that you have to build that habit of your followers on Instagram to go to your profile. You have to tell them, oh, the link is in the bio. And then that if they go to your bio, then they'll possibly click through. But then, of course, you're doing your evaluation, and guess what you're finding? You're finding, hey, Kim, you're finding that you might not get the traffic from over there, especially if it's a sale or a conversion that you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, you know where your conversions are coming from. If you're looking for conversions out there, then you have got platforms out there for them to do the conversion. And so therefore, and I need to grab something. Let me grab my soda here. That at the end of the day, the money's either coming in or it's not. That's the bottom line on that. So if the money is not coming in, then you need to look at the platform that you're on. And it's not that you might be on the wrong platform. It's not that you might need to jump to another platform. It's all in the evaluation, okay? The platform that you're on, can you get the conversion? Who gets a conversion off that platform, and how do they get that conversion on the platform? And you might need to, like say, in order to get one conversion, you might need to get in front of 500 to 1,000 to 10,000 people. Are you doing that? And if so, how are you doing it? What are you doing it? What time, what resources, what money are you putting behind it? I know that on my YouTube, not YouTube, you saying YouTube, on my Instagram, I've got 2 Instagrams. I've got one, and I don't want to call it my personal Instagram because none of it is actually personal. But I've got my regular Instagram that I have connected to all of my personal timeline on Facebook, and then to all of my pages. But then I have a business Instagram that I use specifically to promote posts, right? Because I didn't want to convert my high traffic Instagram to the business one, because as soon as you on most of these platforms, and I don't know why that is, but when you convert them to the business one, your traffic dies off, because they know, well, if you're a business, you're going to invest in it and getting it. You're going to pay for traffic, basically. So I have a high traffic Instagram, a high engaged Instagram. Yeah, high traffic Instagram. But then I have one that I use to promote some of the posts that are particular to the brand, to DryerBuzz, to the products and so forth. So I will continue to engage on my DryerBuzz one, but then I have DryerBuzz.com. And on that one, I run my promoted posts. People can contact me on a professional level on that side. I don't have a lot of food posts on there. You don't have the one of me going to the grocery store, this, that, and that. It's literally ads. It's all ads on that one. And I've loaded them up. I sat down. I created all of my ads, including my Super Bowl ad, which I'm ready to run, that I'm going to put some money behind on Super Bowl Sunday. And I'm going to promote that in the vicinity of the Super Bowl stadium. So while people are scrolling down their Instagram in the Super Bowl stadium, my ad will be coming up on Instagram. And I've sat down, I came up with my ads. I have loaded them all to that Instagram. All I have to do is go back through, and I rotate 3. I always have 3 of them running at all times. Okay. Facebook is really hanging in there, y'all. Wow. So I have 3 ads on Instagram running at all times. People will say, well, DryerBuzz, how do you become a household name? Advertising. The real authority in all of this is in advertising. So I have 3 ads that I'm running. Like I'm trying to change up my followers' habits to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I have a This Ain't That Book Club ad on the promotional Instagram saying, hey, listen, meet me at YouTube on Wednesdays for our live book club selection, right? So I'm guiding that habit for them to come over and watch on YouTube. This ain't that book club. This ain't that book club. So we're talking about a couple of apps. We're talking about some of the things to expect this year, 2018, in social media. And I haven't done this in a while, from a perspective of 27 answers. So I guess I'm kind of going back into that as well. Daria, hello, how are you? You guys that are on Facebook are listening in audio version as I create a live YouTube on my YouTube channel. And so as you can hear, in my vision for 2018 is again to nurture my subscribers, change up my followers' habits so that I convert more of them to long term, whether it be a customer, a lifetime customer, a reader, a follower, massing the audience and so forth. And shout out to the Chick-fil-A. New Chick-fil-A just opened up. This is an entrepreneur. I believe it was a Morehouse grad, just opened. And and one of the things that they have, guys, and if you guys don't know it, when they open those Chick-fil-A stores, if you stand out, if you get in line 24 hours prior to opening, if you sign up to get in line 24 hours prior opening, you could literally win Chick-fil-A for a year from that location. And as you know, we had single-digit temperatures, and so people were people were really debating as to whether or not to stand outside for 24 hours to get that. And then they delayed their opening today to noon. But that's awesome, because that is a Chick-fil-A that's now opened in the AU Center. And as you know, there's very little food in that area. Name brand. There's definitely some surviving mom and pop businesses, definitely some surviving small businesses and so forth. And I hope that, and I don't think it will, I don't think it will. But I mean, think about it. One of the things we talked about is something we're going to be blogging about at DryerBuzz in 2018 is Atlanta 360. You know, and you have some areas that are just overserved. And I want to say I don't see saturation. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Tachi was saying that YouTube was saturated, but it's not. Nothing is saturated when you bring your own audience to it. I know how to do that because when we first came online, our audience was not online. Let me make sure, guys. Look like our YouTube is stalling here on the live set, so I may have to get ready to reset it. Let me see, make sure it looks like we're trying. So you have to, if you're bringing your audience with you, you don't have to worry about saturation. That's one of the things I was gonna say earlier. If you're bringing your audience with you, you don't have to worry about saturation. Okay. Send me a message. Was that a question? Let me see if I can. I'm on my YouTube. I don't know if I can grab it. Uh, uh, I don't think I can grab it. Hold on. Nope. Uh-oh. Wait. Nope. It's me up. Hold on. Oh, I think it killed me. Oh my God, no. Wait, I don't want that. I don't want that either. I want to go back to YouTube. My YouTube. Me a question. And I think my is let me see if I post something else. Try to get rid of something. I think I'm getting a couple of resource issues on. So just and that's why I love the live is you have tools over the button live that so that's the reason is there as well. The Facebook, let me get a time. I can't believe it's Facebook live. The 15 minutes. Wow. So I want to give that is. I'm here because we go about habits between radio, social media, getting this and that snow falling, ice falling, I guess. You want to basically start back building your subscriber list. You want to start building your email list because those are the things you want to get. You want to change the habits of your users to get them back to turning those notifications on. Guys, you do want to have your notifications on at this point because we're missing it. You're missing it, and there's a lot about our lives now that are using these tools. And if we don't, I'm trying to see. Look like we're good on the speed over here. And if we don't have those notifications on, we're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss out. So I wonder if I could do a little bit of excerpt. I tell you what. Let's end with a little bit of excerpt. Let me see if we can grab some Jennifer Lewis here to end on. I'm always trying to end with one of these with a excerpt. And one of the things I don't think I did in any other video was share Jennifer's book jacket. It says from her more than 300 appearances for film and television, stage and cabaret, performing comedy or drama as an unforgettable lead or a scene-stealing supporting character, Jennifer Lewis has established herself as one of the most respected, admired, talented, and versatile entertainers working today. The mega diva and co-star to the hit sitcom Blackish bears her soul in the touching and poignant and at times side-splitting, hilarious
memoir of a Midwestern girl with a dream whose journey took her from poverty to the big screen and along the way earned her many accolades. With candor and warmth, Jennifer Lewis reveals the heart of a woman who lives life to the fullest. The multi talented force of nature landed her first Broadway role within 11 days of her graduation from college and later earned the title reigning queen of High Camp Cabaret. Hey there, I'm ending here just 2 seconds. My daughter's peeping her head in. She comes to visit. So let's look at her table of contents and see if we can just grab something here to end. Your playing small does not serve the world. Who are you not to be great? Is what she pulled from Nelson Mandela. In her table of contents, now remember, this ain't that book club, so we like books that read like blogs. So keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it moving. And she has only 15 chapters here, and I'll go through the chapters blackish to greenish, shoulders, back, titties first. Don't Mama, I can't even say out loud. Chapter number 4, Love versus Dream Girls. Ma'am, are you a delegate? A doll named Killer. Hollywood not swinging. I remember that song, Hollywood swinging. Hollywood not swinging. Kinlock, it ain't that kind of call. And FMF. Dismissing the diva, kicking down doors, Jackie's back, Mother Courage, and then the last one on the back of a two-hump camel. Let's maybe look at kicking down doors. Let's see what 239. And normally we just open to a page, but I think we've done that before. So I'm going to try to get to page 230. And I think we've explored the randomness of the book and loved it. So let's go to 239. Kicking down doors. The artificial glitz of Hollywood is at least even in Los Angeles. God spread our glory in this city, being generous with the bling of palms, gold, sunshine crashing over our mountains, the purple Dracan May. Moments of sadness, imagine. I love that. Self with Mother Nature had a surprise for me. The violent sound, 4:30 a.m. on January 17, 1994. Tai Chi and yoga had taught me to go limp in these kinds of situations. I was still sleeping on a low futon style bed, so I had nothing to fall from, but I was thrown over the thing like a rag doll. Let me see. All right, turning the page here. This was not my first earthquake, but it was the strongest I'd ever felt. The shaking seemed to go on forever. When it finally did stop, I was relieved to be in one piece, unhurt. I reached down and found the clothes I had dropped next to the bed the night before. There were matches in my pants pocket, and foolishly, I did something you should not do in the aftermath of an earthquake: light a match. This could ignite any gas that had been released into the air. In a few seconds, the match was aglow. I could see the ceiling had dropped a little and was about to crash onto my bed. Everything was broken and scattered about, and I felt the cool January air coming through the broken window. I blew out the match and in complete darkness, blindly felt my way around the living room. My upright Yamaha piano had fallen over, and there was a wall in my way, but somehow I squeezed through. My phone rang. It was my brother Larry calling from St. Louis. He was heading out early for his job teaching at Jennings High School when the news of the quake came over the radio. Larry, it's bad. It's real bad. Don't tell mama. It's okay, but it's so fucking bad. I whispered to him because the silence in the moment was so great around me. I felt compelled to keep my own voice low. Mother Nature had just kicked our ass. I called Rachel. She lived just down the street. I was relieved to hear that she was fine. The phone went dead. I went outside into the corridor that opened onto a courtyard. Across the way lived an 80-year-old couple. I went to check on them. They were shaken, of course, but alive. They had a flashlight, which I asked for so I could help these other people. I was now hearing screams for help. I went to open the neighbor's door, only to find it was stuck. Without hesitation, I yelled, "Stand back from the door." It was as if my entire molecular structure suddenly recalled the moves I learned at the karate dojo when I lived in Magal with Magal and his mother. I unleashed a powerful forward snap kick, which knocked open the door. A couple crowd out. I repeated the kick 5 more times that night. It was like I was in a Bruce Lee movie. Adrenaline or some force greater activated inside me. I found my neighbor Tina underneath 2 curio cabinets that had collapsed over her head, forming a steeple in midair. Shards of glass struck out from the cabinets, one just inches from Tina's neck. I said, "Don't move, Tina." I put the flashlight in my mouth and also carefully moved the shards away from her throat. Some young men appeared and I asked them to help move the cabinet so she could get free while I went off to the next apartment. In the midst of kicking down doors, I pushed to look up. I saw stars in the sky like I've never seen before. In the absence of electric light, I saw the Milky Way and all its splendor. I said prayers of thanks. Everybody in our complex had helped each other and made it out safely. We stood in the streets together, crying and praying. When the sun came up, we learned the enormity of the disaster. The quake measured 6.7 on the Richter scale, and 52 people died. I figured our building would be condemned, and a few days later, documents posted on the front door made it official. FEMA would be placing us in temporary housing. Just a few weeks after the earthquake, I was asked to step in for disco queen Donna Summers at a fundraising concert for the AIDS Project Los Angeles. The AIDS crisis was rampaging in Hollywood. Royalty came out in droves that night. Whitney Houston, Elizabeth Taylor, Jennifer Holliday, Madonna, and countless more stars were there to honor entertainment idols whose lives were taken by the epidemic, including Rock Hudson, Robert Mapplethorpe, and Freddie Mercury. Scott Whitman and Mark Shaman directed the show. My performance recognized Paul Jabara, the brilliant composer who wrote disco hits like Last Dance and It's Raining Men, and the duet Enough Is Enough, which was a huge success for Barbra Streisand and Donna Summers. I think we read this part, y'all. When I took to the stage, accompanied by a 60-piece orchestra, 3 backup singers, and a half a dozen dancers, I could see 2 of my biggest idols, First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton and Barbra Streisand, sitting next to each other on the fifth row center. And I think we did read that part. So we'll stop. We read that actually in the store, which is why we brought the book. And as I looked through it, and I was actually looking for... Oh, wow. It says, while I was filming Panther with Kadeem Hardison, I arrived on set one day and Dick Gregory was there. What a wonderful surprise. Dick was a giant in the realms of social justice and entertainer, and like me, he's from Kinloch. I was eager to speak with him about nutrition about 10 years. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop because I'm getting low resources over here on this. Thank you guys so much. And I can't believe, isn't that crazy? Yeah, I'm going to stop it because it's been on a minute and I don't know if it's messing up here on Facebook. So we're going to end Facebook. We get a chance to end 2 Facebook audio videos. And if I really wanted Facebook to run, if my expectation wasn't that it was going to crash, it would have crashed. So I'm going to say goodbye to you guys on Facebook. Please subscribe to the YouTube and find more. This Ain't That Book Club. Oh, we do have a page on Facebook called This Ain't That Book Club. Check it out and we'll be back next week. Okay. All right. So, YouTube guys, like I said, we came over, gave you a little bit of excerpt, got a little bit of Jennifer Lewis in, but basically, This Ain't That Book Club. So we talked about the apps. Do I want to save this one? No. If you do get a all right. So we'll go ahead and do that. So thank you guys so much for indulging me this hour on YouTube. We talked a little bit about the shirts. We do now have shirts and things like that we are going to, and we got another one coming, so we will have 2 shirts. And again, we talked about the books and how we talked a little bit about the books, but we talked about apps and building the habits. One of the things with building habits is trying to come back over here and do a little bit more with our YouTube subscribers. So thanks guys. I want everybody to have a great day. Don't forget, filter the entire internet for DryerBuzz. Turn on your notifications and please subscribe. Have a great day. Bye bye.